What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of 30 Minutes of Hell. I am your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Joey Jackson and Matt Jackson. And we've got a Razorback win to talk about. A road win at that. Arkansas finally figures out what the heck they're doing on the road. Still struggled against arguably one of the worst teams in the SEC, but that's okay. They came away with a win in a road environment, their first one in 3 attempts now. Big game from Darius Acuff. Scheduled tweet, hit send. A lot of other guys did some good things too, though, and really, as a team, did not shoot the ball very well. But this is another one of those games that I find encouraging, where Arkansas can figure out how to win when things are not always like going their way. When they're doing well, hitting threes, forcing turnovers, getting transition points, all those little things, like it's easy to win. We're a great offensive team that can score in bunches. So when that's going well, they win games. Pretty simple. But when it's not, and you're held to 80-ish points, you only make two threes in a game. When those things are going wrong and you still find a way to win, this was a little more encouraging for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
and not shooting well is putting it lightly. We shot 12% from three, just horrific shooting. But yeah, I am glad that we were able to weather the storm and come out finally with a solid road win. There's still a journey to go, and we'll get into the next game shortly. But I was happy with most of what I saw against OU.
yeah, I was way too stressed out, but I give Oklahoma a lot of points for a bunch of drunk fans and what free pizza and all of that they got.
$3
So
beer night.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I mean, you gotta understand that was probably the biggest crowd Oklahoma's had in probably like 8 years at basketball. So we're gonna give them a few points there. But overall, like you said, Brandon, I mean, genuinely winning a game where you're shooting so poorly from three, which we have relied so heavily on, and still coming out and winning. I feel like that says a lot about how the team is growing. Should we have ever gotten in that position? Absolutely not. But it seems like we're figuring out ways to win. We grinded one out against LSU. Once again, shouldn't have been there in the first place, but we grinded it out. And then we go and we grind one out at Oklahoma. We're learning how to win these just like nitty gritty games where we're just not doing well, and it's nothing we can do about it. We're just missing open shots. So I'm pretty hopeful about things in the future.
And
Talking
something
about
that
missing shots, I want to like bring up immediately sign of maturity, it felt like a little bit from Malik Thomas. He went 0-4 from three, but quickly, relatively quickly, he took 4 shots, but adapted and adjusted to where in this game, he was much more aggressive, like getting into the paint. There was no one on Oklahoma's backcourt that could stay in front of him. And I think he started like 1 of 8 or 1 of 7 or something like that from the field. Ended 7 of 15, ended with 16 points, did not have a turnover, played very, very well to actually get into the paint, get some floaters to go, draw some fouls. Like he actually ended up playing very well despite shooting 0 of 4 from three, which was a concern that I had about how I wasn't sure how strong he was going to be against backcourts, being able to handle the ball. He still makes me nervous every time he dribbles, but when he is in attack mode and just like straight line attack getting into the paint, he's clearly very good at it. He can hit the floaters. Has good body control. He had like two or three of those like reverse layups with his right hand going across the rim that I haven't really seen out of him much this year. So props to him for figuring that out and figuring out how to affect the game when his shot was not falling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that's been really promising to me is how well we take care of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We rank 21st in fewest turnovers across D1. Like we are a great team, and our assist to turnover ratio is really good. Given a lot of that is Darius Acuff averaging 8 assists a game or whatever.
And like
But
half a turnover.
yeah. But just the fact that like we are literally in the top 25 in fewest turnovers a game is really really great to me compared to what we've looked like in the past. Like this is especially with being a team that's really led by two freshmen, like that's very extremely impressive.
Yeah. And going back on your point, Brandon, about Malik Thomas. I feel like this was one of the first games where I was like, give that man the ball. Like it just seemed like towards the end of the game we weren't doing much, but he was doing everything. It was almost like we finally got somebody that could take on that clutch situation other than Acuff. And it felt good to see that Malik do that because I was, yeah, at a certain point, I was like, just give Malik the ball and let him go. Like, just give him the ball, let him go. Because I knew he wasn't going to shoot. I knew he was just going to take it to the paint. And we were eating them alive. What, 70, was it 71%, 72% from the field in the 2 point shots?
Yeah, we had
That's
like 56 points in the paint or
yeah,
something.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. This team finally did what they needed to do on the road, and that is well worth it to me.
Yeah, shots don't always travel. Offense does not always travel. Usually, the formula is make your defense and your effort travel. This team does not excel at defense. So, doing this and playing to other strengths offensively, I feel like is probably going to be their formula for picking up some of these wins is forcing foul trouble, forcing your way into the paint, always obviously capitalizing on fast break opportunities whenever you can. But yeah, getting, Billy Richmond involved, Acuff getting downhill, Malik getting downhill when his shot is not falling, like that is the formula to me on the road because we are one of the top probably 5 3-point shooting teams if you just look at our games in Bud Walton Arena, and very different from that on in road games. So when the offense does not travel, this feels like more of a winning formula offensively for this team. But yeah, speaking of Billy, 9 points, 3 boards, had some big momentum plays in this game. I love when he catches the ball and doesn't think twice on like he's already running when he catches it sometimes and just like gets straight into the paint, and he's so athletic that if you let him get 2 steps under him, like he's going to be his head is at the rim and he's going to finish it from wherever he is. There was a couple of those in this game that really stood out to me. I really love watching him do that, and a huge reason why this team is so good at finishing in the paint. It plays like that, players like Billy. Another big game from Carter Knox. When I say big, being aggressive, taking a lot of shots, double digit scoring, did not commit a turnover. We've talked endlessly about how Carter Knox is such a swing vote, for lack of a better term. Like he is the X factor in a lot of these games just when he is aggressive and playing well. Did not grab a ton of rebounds in this game, but he was aggressive. He was taking threes. Like I said, didn't turn the ball over. He was a net positive. When Carter Knox does all of these things well, Arkansas plays well as a unit, as a team. He is such like a connector, and it's so important just for him to be aggressive, both as a scorer and on the glass on both sides of the ball. And I love to see him playing in that role, not trying to force things, not turning it over, not taking bad shots. Right, like that's what I love to see from Carter.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I do want to bring up there was a lot of good in the game. But one of the more interesting storylines I think is DJ Wagner. He tied for his lowest minute count of the season at 14, tied with Tennessee. He also had 14 minutes against them, and where it really seems like we're playing really solid when his minutes are limited. And I hate to say that because he was such a great piece to our squad last year, and we've talked a lot this year about like he just needs to get in the rhythm, and he's that veteran guy, and he's being a leader by stepping back and just doing what's needed of him. But where do we draw the line of he's just not giving us what we need?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're there. Honestly, like I think you can't go into things with only 2 guards. Like you need a third guard. You need his presence occasionally. But I've been doing a lot of work on like trying to look at some metrics and some advanced stats and stuff that makes Matt want to vomit probably. But almost everything, every angle that I can cut this, everything that I can look at with this team, like DJ's at the bottom of the list on all of it, on points per usage, points per possession, on the ability to generate possessions, like all these things that I'm trying to look into, like he's just at the bottom of all of them. And he often has one of the biggest gaps between when we win and when we lose in a lot of these things too. And he's just, I mean, you said it perfectly. He's just not giving us what we need from him. And it kind of sucks because like, I think it's really about role more than it is talent, right? Like Acuff has the ball in his hands all the time. Acuff is the one getting downhill, making these plays, and he's just so much better at it than DJ that we can't give the ball to DJ and ask, because that's the role that he wants to play too. When I say wants to, like, that's what he's the best at, getting downhill, being that kind of, playmaker. And it's just impossible to give him the ball when Darius Acuff, when we need 35, 36 minutes from Acuff. What else is DJ going to do if he's not hitting, if he's hitting 40% from three, we're having a different conversation, but he's not been shooting that well either lately. So yeah, I don't know what you get out of it, like what you do about it, just because he doesn't fit the role elsewhere any better.
Yeah, and the one thing I would say that we needed him for was defense, and he's not giving us that either. I mean, Acuff
Mm,
worked his rear end off on Pack and
yes.
earned all those minutes that he got on defense in particular. I mean, when DJ was on the court and Acuff was off, Pack went and hit like three threes. It was disappointing to see the guy that I was like, this is our perimeter defender. This is our dog who's going to get after the best guard, other than Billy. And seeing him just get almost torn apart. And I don't know. Maybe it's a lack of confidence thing. I don't know. Maybe he's just not that great. I
I
mean,
mean, this is a guy that we talked about being a solid foundational piece to this team.
mhm,
Like starting point guard, shooting guard, or, just someone who is going to really be like our leader to this team. Like I don't think any of us thought that Acuff was gonna be the guy that he is right out the gate and be this team's leader. And that is fully what he is. And it just it makes me feel bad for Wagner because I think a lot of people were expecting him to take a big step forward this year. He's been with this is his third year with Cal, and it feels like he regressed from last year to this. And I do agree, Brandon. I think it's a lot because of role. He Acuff is just that guy.
yeah.
You can't take his minutes away.
Yeah, I don't think Wagner just lost his talent whatsoever. I agree. It's truly a role thing, and I think it's a mental thing having to step back like that. I mean, nobody wants. He's not asking for his minutes to be cut out of generosity to
Right.
Acuff, right? I mean, he's not happy about it. You can't be happy about it. As all of us were basketball players, no matter what, if somebody was better than you, you still did not like that they were playing over you,
Yeah,
right?
you would know.
Yeah. And hey, listen, starting five, baby. I want to hear it. Anyway, but you know what I'm saying. It's like I feel like he's maybe in that situation. Maybe he's dealing with a little bit of what Carter Knox was dealing with, where it's like he of course wants to make it to the next level, and he's seeing those opportunities slip away, and so
Yeah,
he's getting maybe more in his head.
that's a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting to me in the final possession of the game, and this is probably very situational, but Arkansas was up. Sorry, the final defensive possession of the game, when Arkansas was up two, needed a stop. The lineup that Cal rolled out did include DJ, but it was one of the smallest lineups that I think I've seen him put on the court this year. I think it was mainly because we were willing to give up a look from inside the arc. We were not willing to give them any looks from three. But he rolled out a lineup of Acuff, Wagner, Malik, and Billy with Brazil at the center spot. And I thought that was an interesting, like, I don't think we've really seen that lineup hardly ever play together. And that key pivotal moment in the game where you had to have a stop, I thought that was an interesting group to roll out there. And again, it's probably because he wanted to switch everything, not give any looks from three, make sure you had three or four guys that could deal with Nigel Pack on the perimeter. And then, of course, Brazil comes up with a huge play when they do try to go for two. So that was obviously it worked out well, but it was interesting to me because I mean, we always talk about Pringle as the huge defensive guy in the paint that we want him to be, and Knox has been such a bull defensively, and like neither of those guys are on the court. We went incredibly small for that possession. So maybe not meaningful. I don't know. I find little situational stuff like that super interesting. I think that those situations are really where you see the coaching chess match come out between Cal and the game and Cal and the other coach and whatever. So I thought that was something kind of cool.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same game parlays, best in class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
Yeah, cool. So, moving on. Game is circled on the calendar. Up next, Saturday in Bud Walton Arena. The Kentucky Wildcats are coming to town. And obviously, they're not the Kentucky Wildcats that all of us grew up watching because the guy that made them those Kentucky Wildcats now coaches Arkansas. But it's still going to be a rivalry game. Emotions are going to be high. There's still DJ Wagner is on this team that played for Kentucky a couple years ago. You've still got Carter Knox and Billy Richmond that were committed to Kentucky when Cal was there, that came with him. I feel like, and obviously as fans, like we've been going back and forth with Kentucky fans for the better part of 2 years now on social media and everywhere else. Like it's a rivalry game at this point. And even historically, even before Cal came, like Kentucky has always been tier one in the SEC basketball. Arkansas has always been 1B or tier two or however you want to phrase it. But like they've been among the elite SEC programs together for multiple decades now. So it's just a huge game, no matter how you phrase it. And like I don't want to pretend that it's not. I don't feel like it's just another SEC game. Like this one is important. I will be more devastated if we lose this game than any other game. And it's not just because of Kentucky. Like I want Cal to win, beat his former team. I want DJ to beat his former team. Like there's a lot of storylines that I would love to go our way in this game, but there's no sugarcoating it, right? Like it's a big game. Even if Kentucky is not as good as they want to be, as good as they've been in previous seasons, they're still good enough that I think it could be competitive if we let it, but it's a big game. Do you guys feel the same way?
No, this is just any other game. Of course it's a big game. Gosh,
Yeah.
we went into Rep Arena last year and stole one. So if you don't think that those butt sniffers have had this game circled on their calendar for a full year, ready to come and steal one at Bud Walton, then you're insane. And I'm a little worried about this game just because of the emotions that come with it. I think that there's a lot of stake. Obviously, there's a lot of stake from both sides in this game. I mean, whether Kentucky's a contender or not, they want to come and get their revenge on us.
Yeah. And I don't think it's near as big as last year's game by any means, just because you had the former players and it was the first year. This year it's like Kentucky's their own team, Arkansas is their own team, but you got to think Kentucky's not starting off too hot. They weren't as bad as us last year at this point, but we came in and turned our season around there. Kentucky is looking to probably do the same thing. I mean, they need some big wins because they have not looked good. So yeah, I'm with you, Joey. I'm worried about this one just as much. I think we need to take this very seriously. Play this game like we are playing a top 25 team here. Because with the SEC how it is, I feel like anything can fluctuate at this point. It's like anybody can beat anybody. It's this weird thing where if anybody's at home, they're just 10 times better. And if they play Arkansas, they are the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan. I mean, that's just how it is. So we got to be ready. I am looking for big games from everybody, honestly. I think everyone has this game circled. Maybe we were overlooking Oklahoma a little bit.
I
I I will tell you one thing to your point, Joey, about you mentioned the emotions running high in this game. I'll tell you why I feel like that actually favors us more than it does them this year. I feel like there are more guys that have more at stake in this game on Arkansas side than there is on Kentucky's side. There's not a player on that Kentucky roster right now that looks at Arkansas with contempt the way that someone like DJ Wagner or Trevor Brazile does with Cal as their coach, that they've been here for a few years with Cal. Like, obviously Arkansas is playing well right now. Obviously the whole storyline, the narrative, it's a big game for them. I'm not saying it's not. But the guys on the Arkansas side of the court, I feel like will have more to play for, and Cal knows that, and I think Cal will have them ready and ready to take it seriously. There's no chance they come out and not take it seriously. They may come out too amped up and miss some shots and do some things they shouldn't, but I don't think there's any way that they come out and sleepwalk. I think that they come ready to play, and that there's just more to play for on the Razorback side.
I just don't want. Cal is very much a player's coach. And going back to what we've talked about DJ, I don't want things to change and us, Cal revert back to starting DJ and giving him 25 minutes this game and him being I I don't know if that will happen. I think that Cal he's just I'm just gonna say it again, he's a player's coach. Like he wants that. I think he wants that spotlight for DJ.
Yeah, I'm reacting the way I am because I have not considered it, but you're absolutely right that it's something he would do to put DJ back in the starting lineup against Kentucky. I don't know that he will, but I could absolutely see that happening.
At the same time, Cal's not an idiot.
Exactly.
Like that's the biggest thing.
So leave DJ on the bench. That's what Matt
That's
is
what
saying.
that's what Matt's
No,
saying.
I'm saying like if he sees that it's wrong, he's probably not gonna do it. But I'll tell you this. In DJ's defense, DJ Wagner in front of a foaming at the mouth Bud Walton arena against Kentucky, he's probably going to be ready to go.
He'll have a little extra pep in his step
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I
He's been
don't.
dunking on dudes randomly all year. Maybe we'll see another something like that.
The thing is, we're talking like I don't want people to think like we're talking like DJ is just this some random guy off the bench. DJ
Right.
is a stud. Like he's good. And if we do have him playing, I'm not at all like worried about DJ just being absolute garbage. I'm worried what we're not getting out of Acuff or what we're not getting out of Malik Thomas because those guys are also insanely good. And so it's really just a matter of who's the best of the best. That's who we're playing. And I think we're going to be fine. And even whether DJ starts or DJ comes off the bench, I think he's going to have a good game. I feel like he's a big game player.
Kentucky's coming off of a brutal loss on the road at Vanderbilt. This is a crazy road stretch for them this week, going to Vanderbilt, to Arkansas, back-to-back games. But they had won 5 in a row before that, squeaked out a couple of wins, hit a buzzer beater over LSU earlier in the year. Some wild games that they've had, but coming off of a 25-point road blowout, feels like they're going to have a little more focus, a little more pep in their step. Obviously, playing against Arkansas, it's going to be that way as well. But just another storyline, another layer in the pie. But focusing in a little bit on some of Kentucky's key players, it's huge to note, not just for this game, but for the foreseeable future. They're without their top three transfers, right? Like they've got Jaden Quaintance, former Cal recruit who went to Arizona State when Cal came here last year, transferred back to Kentucky for this season, has hardly played. I think he's played 4 games, just about $1 million per game that they paid him. But he's had injury problems all season. Not going to play on Saturday. It's already been announced. They're without Jalen Lowe, whose season is over. They're without Cam Williams, a big 6'9" wing. Season is over. Broken foot. He just had surgery today on it. Like, those are 3 major contributors that could make this team actually one of the best, like, 3 or 4 teams in the SEC if they were healthy. But because they're not, Kentucky is fighting with everything they have to be just kind of in the upper half, the upper echelon of the league. The players that they do have healthy and available, Otega Owe, great player last year, great player this year. He's been in the SEC Player of the Year conversations. I don't know if Kentucky will win enough games for him to actually be considered for the award, but a player that you have to take seriously. Reminds me a little bit. He's doesn't have hardly any shooting ability. He's getting better this year, 33-ish% from long range, but the way that he moves reminds me a little bit of like a Donovan Mitchell type player, where he's like a just an uber athletic guard that can get up, get rebounds, can dunk over people, can slice through the paint very easily. Like a player that you have to take seriously. I'm hoping to see a lot of Billy Richmond on him, maybe some Carter Knox, maybe some Malik Thomas. We'll see. He's just so strong and at 6'5" in his frame, and I feel like his wingspan is even bigger than that. It lets him play bigger than 6'5". Like I want Billy on Oweh. I think that's the number one best way to slow him down. And then Denzel Aberdeen, their lead guard, won a national championship with Florida last year. Also listed at 6'5", plays a little smaller than that. He actually truly plays more like a guard, but still a double-digit scorer, a threat from long range. Honestly, the guy that in some of their comeback wins this year has sparked them. Like he is a guy that can get going offensively and get a run started. So big key. I feel like we're going to see a lot of Darius Acuff on Aberdeen. He's really their lead ball handler, their point guard. I would imagine Acuff either matches up with him or Colin Chandler a lot. But given how we've seen Acuff go head to head with Tyler Tanner, with Nigel Pack, with some of these guys recently, I foresee him getting the assignment with Denzel Aberdeen. Those are the two biggest ones. You've got 7-footer Malachi Moreno in the paint. You've got Mohamed Diabate, both solid rebounders. Colin Chandler is a local Kentucky kid that has been providing them big sparks at times. Duke can get up and throw down a poster every now and then. If you haven't seen them, he can definitely spark that team to get going as well. But those two guys, Oweh and Aberdeen, are the difference makers for me that we just have to have at the top of the scouting report.
And something to watch out for that Kentucky's been starting kind of their twin towers the last couple games. They've been starting Moreno and Jalovic, which 6'11" and 7 foot. So that'll be an interesting start to the game. Moreno's actually the guy who hit the buzzer beater against LSU a few games back. He had that little free throw line midi.
Yep, and Jelavic is a threat from deep as well. He's not shooting he's not shooting the lights out, but he is taking like 2.5 threes a game. So definitely like we'll stretch the defense a little. Probably a lot of Trevor Brazil on him. Yeah, that is just another element. I think that they have some very interesting pieces. They're just missing a lot of pieces, and they're trying to figure out how to put it together. They shouldn't have the talent to come in and beat Arkansas on their home court, but they do have a lot of guys that can spark a run, can be an interesting matchup, all of those things. So
Going back to the emotion side of this, because I think that this is gonna, I think we're gonna see this come into play a few times in the game. The Razorbacks have shown to be kind of hot-headed at times, and specifically Pringle, Knox, Ewan. So we can't let guys like Oweh, who's really good at getting under people's skin, or guys like Colin Chandler, who is also really good at getting under people's skin, we can't let them get in our heads and, force us to make stupid plays because we're getting frustrated with how they're playing. I just think this is going to be a game full of emotions, and just based on what we've already seen from the Razorbacks this year on lesser competition and not as, I don't want to say impactful, not as big or high intensity games.
the big storylines, yeah.
Yes, we need to keep level heads throughout this one. We can't give up technicals. I expect this game to be neck and neck the entire way. I don't want us to give them free points at the line because Knox did something stupid by hip checking a guy rolling to the rim.
Did you mention the word hothead and not mention the hothead of Billy Richmond? Like
The kid from Memphis.
the hothead, Arkansas hothead, and you mentioned
And the guy that's probably going to be guarding Oweh and Colin Chandler a lot.
Yeah, fair.
He's probably leading the dang NCAA in technicals and flagrants. Him or Knox because of a
Probably Knox. Yeah.
horrible call.
Which that last one in the Oklahoma
Horrible
game. Yeah.
call. Yeah.
Stupid, yeah.
But yeah, I worry about Billy. Billy had to be riled up by Cal after the game against Kentucky last year. So
He did. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Billy, stop
Billy,
it.
get in here.
I
That's
love
that's
Billy.
completely true. I had not. I talked about the emotions earlier of favoring the Hogs because they have more to play for, but yeah, that's a good point to bring up that we've seen the trend of them kind of losing it at times. So this would definitely be a game for that to happen again. All right, so let's get to it. What we've been waiting for, right? Does Arkansas win this game? Let's get score predictions.
All right, me first.
You go ahead, Matt.
Let's hear
All
it.
right, all right. I am gonna say yes because I will
Mhm.
never say no,
Mhm.
and I am gonna go with Arkansas winning 80, 88 to 79.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Brandon?
You go first, Joey.
Brandon's still thinking of his.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm stuck because I want to say that we don't pull it off just because we stole one last year. They want to steal one this year, but I'm going to say that we do. I'm going to say that we get this win. I'm going to say the Bud Walton effect holds true. I predicted much earlier this season that we were going to go undefeated at home, so I'm going to stick to my gut there. And I'm going to say that we win 86, no, 89 to 85.
All right, yeah, I wanted you to go first because I feel like we're going to come out ready to go in this game. I'm going Arkansas 92, Kentucky 75.
Oh, I
Heck
hope
yeah.
so.
I
Give
if that
give them the
happens,
boot just like we did Vandy.
if that happens, I'm gonna go to Fayetteville and give you a high five, Brandon. That's what I'm gonna
I'll
go
be
do.
there.
Are
I'll
you
be
gonna
at the
be
game.
at?
Come find me.
I want to go so
Oh,
bad,
you'll
but
be at the game?
yeah,
Yep.
I figured he was gonna be. Tickets are ridiculous, by the way. So,
Yeah.
but I would go
Yeah.
up in a heartbeat.
Yeah. No, yeah. They just lost by 25 to Vandy. They're not coming into Bud Walton and playing us to single digits, man. We got to beat this
Yeah,
team worse than Vandy did. Like, we can. It's just, will we? I think we will. Not worse than
Exactly.
Vandy, but
Yeah.
I think we can. All right. Well, I'm excited for this one, if you can't tell listening in. But for now, that's all the time we have for you guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Quick reminder, we are brought to you by the Field of 68 Podcast Network. You can find us on Twitter, on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your stuff. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a review, leave a comment, do all the things you do on those sites. It really helps us out. We really appreciate it. I have been your host, Brandon Baker, joined as always by Joey Jackson and Matt Jackson. And as always, go Hogs.